It's early July here in the Mid-Atlantic, and it is hot.
It's like Africa hot.
Because of work and some other obligations, I haven't been on a trail in over a month and a half. I've done a few road rides and did a fun July 4th group ride with the local bike shop, but I wanted to get in some trail time. But while my doughy, out-of-shape body was out sweating in this 90-degree heat, I had a realization. All these videos I watch on YouTube of these folks doing all kinds of cool stuff on cool adventures in cool locations, I'm thinking, this ain't cool. In fact, it's far from cool. Aside from the metaphorical Fonzie cool, it's friggin' hot.
Tarzan couldn't take this kind of hot.
I'm about as far from Whistler Bike Park as you can get in the continental United States. And while I'm watching everyone else do this, most of the trails around me look more like, well, this. A lot of ups and downs. And on a day like this, it feels more like ups. I'm sure it's the shape I'm in and the fact that I'm getting a little older, but my body just doesn't take the heat and especially the humidity very well. In fact, it saps me of what little energy I have most times. It makes riding these trails a real struggle. I do my best to power through, but sometimes I find myself wondering why I even do it. So while I love watching the other people's videos, I figured I'd make one showing the other side. Maybe one that someone else may have experienced from time to time. The one for the rest of us. When it comes to climbs like this, in this heat, who am I kidding? Heat or no heat, I've only made it up this hill one way. I'm already sweating through everything. I'm sure the other mountain bikers on YouTube, they're not lying to you. But as we all like to do, we just try to cut through the crap to give people what they want. But if you're new, you might have some false expectations going into it that that's what it's going to be like all the time. Because it's not. You got to put in the work, and you're going to have a lot of moments like this. But that's okay. It's all part of the process. And it's going to take time, and the older you are, it's going to take a lot more time. As I found out. Pushing on. So off I go, hoping that whatever self-generated breeze I can muster will cool me off long enough to be ready for the next obstacle. If it wasn't for my fear of not being able to get back up, I would have laid in this creek. This little area coming up here is a pretty gnarly uphill. Probably doesn't look like it on the GoPro, but I can barely walk up this thing, especially when it's a little wet. The roots, the rocks. I've come down it once. I have some footage of that we did in the wintertime. Hard to believe because it looks completely different than what it looks like right now. Second climb doesn't get any easier than the first one, that's for sure. Came from down there. I'm hot. I'm overheated already. I'm gonna take a rest. Maybe I'll take a nap. As you can tell by my stunted cadence in between gulping air, I'm exhausted. It's going to take time. So a question I stated before was, sometimes I wonder why I even do this. Right now is one of those minutes. But if the trail conditions are right, where I'm about to go is going to be the reason why. So let's go take a look. Yeah. And that is why we mountain bike. That's what keeps us coming out here. That's what keeps us enduring the pain, the suffering, the dizziness, the nausea, that alone. So don't get discouraged. Don't get yourself down. It's all part of it. It's always going to be part of it, no matter what anybody tells you. Now I got to climb out of this hole. If you're just beginning and you haven't exercised in a while, maybe you're having similar struggles. Heck, maybe the local bike path is giving you a challenge. Well, don't despair. You are not alone. We're out here, climbing our own mountains, doing as much as we can to get better. Who knows? Maybe a few more torturous rides like this and Whistler will one day be a possibility. Until then, this sweaty mess is urging you to stay young and ride safe.